All right, Shalom. All praises, glory, honor to Yahweh. Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Chapadash. Peace and double honors to the elders and apostles of great most stone that give us his truth and all the spirituality. And salutations to all you Akim pushing this word throughout the four corners of the earth in sincerity and the truth. I'm the brother Yahushua, and the topic of this lesson will be centered around, this whole economic, banking collapse system and how, it was set up by design by the powers that be, the elites, the bankers. It's pretty much, bring about this NWO agenda, the New World Order. It was set up from the beginning to be a dead trap unto all these different countries so that they could control them. You know, that's why when you look at this whole agenda 2030, the Great Reset, all the nations are in bed with it because they're all indebted unto Esau. So they're servants unto Esau. You had the Rothschild founder father, I think Meyer Amsher Bauer. He said, "Give me a nation, give me control of a nation's wealth, and I care not who make the laws, because as long as you control the money, you know, you pretty much you're the real king, of that specific country, you know. And these devils, they make the money, they print the money, they own the central banks, the IMF and all these Federal Reserves, they own all of them. So this is the scripture I'm gonna start with. This is Proverbs 22 and 7, and this is in the GNTD version. And shout out to brothers in Dallas for putting me onto this because it brings a lot of life out of the scriptures. Certain times the KJV is we know is the best version, of course, because it was translated straight from the Hebrew and Greek and Latin, but this version here, it breaks it down, to the so that the regular common person could understand everything that's in there. So it says Proverbs 22 and 3, 22 verse 7. It says, "Poor people are slaves of the rich. Borrow money, and you are the lender's slave." So all these nations, when you look at them, they all have international debt, you know, and the U.S. has the biggest debt in the world. They have what, 30 something trillion dollars worth of debt. You know, that's hey man, you can't even pay that back. How you gonna pay that back? $30 trillion, man. You know, so it says, I'm gonna read it again. Poor people are slaves of the rich. Yeah, because people are poor because they're all in debt. Everybody got a loan, whether it be student loan, car loan, whatever, man. And if you're using this so-called currency, this paper, it's really a debt note. So what you're doing is really passing on debt. You know, so you are the lender's slave. So the elites, those are the lenders. They're the ones giving out all these loans and to these different banks and things of that nature. And real quick, let's go to Habakkuk chapter 2, verse. I'm gonna start at 5. It says, "Wealth is deceitful. Greedy people are proud and restless." Yeah, who's the greedy man? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Here it is. This man has the whole world in the palm of his hand. You know, he controls everything that's going on. We know the Most High ultimately is in control, but the Most High set up men on the earth, to do His will. Scriptures tell you the king's heart is in the hand of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, and He turneth it whithersoever He will. So wealth is deceitful, and greedy people are proud and proudless. That's why the scriptures refer to Babylon the Great as the most proud, because they have their money is what makes the world move. They're the ones that create the paper, so they got that pride in them because they're able to, you know, be indebted to the Federal Reserve, which, they make it seem like they're indebted to themselves. They got IOUs to themselves, but really they're indebted to the elites. You can't be in debt unto yourself. That don't even make sense, you know. But it says, it says, like death itself, they are never satisfied. Yeah, and there's a scripture in Proverbs that tell you hell and death, are never satisfied. Because there's always people dying. Millions of people die every day. That's how the so-called white man is, man. He's never satisfied. Here it is. He has these trillions of dollars. He controls all the banks. He has all these resources. But, his only MO is to pretty much own your soul. Because the monies are not enough. They want total control. As Aaron Nusso said, it says, um, that is why they conquer nation after nation for themselves. And that's what they do. They conquer nation after nation, man. Everywhere they go, they put them down. And they have such a thing known as an economic hitman, where they send these different agents in these different countries to, go about and go to these other countries and present them with an offer and tell them, either you take this loan or, this is what's going to happen to you. And they have the military to back it up, which the military and scriptures in the book of Revelation, it refers to the three unclean spirits. And the three unclean spirits is um, the military, America, Washington, D.C. They have the spiritual side of it, which is the Vatican. And they have what's that called? London, which is where all the finances, come out of. Oh, man. Who the fuck does that, man? It's slacking, man. These people driving crazy out here, man. But yeah, so that's the three unclean spirits. So it said that is why they conquered nation after nation for themselves. They conquered people. The conquered people would taunt their conquerors and show their scorn for them. They will say, "You take what isn't yours, but you are doomed." And that's what Esau has done, man. You know, he went all over the earth and just sucked up all the wealth, man, for himself. He took all the gold and all the silver, and he gave you a fucking debt note, man. You know, and he still want more. That's not enough for him. He wants total control, man. And it says, they will say, "You take what isn't yours, but you are doomed. How long will you go on getting rich by forcing your debtors to pay up? By forcing your debtors to pay up, you know, America, and all these other countries, they're all in debt unto the elites because the scripture is really specifically talking about the powers that be. So, you know, you getting rich by forcing your debtors to pay up. You put an interest rate. You lend those countries those loans at a high interest rate where they could never pay it back. They do that with every country, man. And the countries that don't want to, play ball, they demonize them, they villainize them. Oh, they say, oh, the people are, protesting. They're asking for, yo, bro, come on, bro, come on, man. Damn, man, it's like it, man. It's fucking demons out here driving crazy, man. These people got to be destroyed, man. So, it's like it, man. It says, you take what isn't yours, but you are doomed. How long will you go on getting rich by forcing your debtors to pay up? And that's not what they do. They put their loan, put that interest rate, and just have these nations in, you know, economic turmoil. People protesting because the cost of living is keep increasing because of the interest rate. And now the thing that's going on with the banking crisis is, it's all a setup. They raise the interest rates, and you have all these banks, pretty much collapsing one after another, like a domino effect. You know, and the reason being is because it's too much debt. You can't go on forever living in debt, man. So someday that debt has to be collected. You know, and that's what the elites are doing. They're causing, you know, different events, different cataclysmic events. I don't know if that's the exact word. Cataclysmic events, to bring about this economic crash so that they could bring about, their ultimate goal, which is CBDC, the RFID chip.
Speed trap reported ahead.
You know,
Lower the mainsail and drop the anchor.
It says, yeah, that's it on that. Now, let's go to that scripture. I looked it up earlier. Amos chapter 8, verse 5. It says, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great. And that's what Jake was doing back then. They was skipping, you know, different. They were skipping the different goods, the grains and things of that nature. Man, let's say an ephah is like, I don't know, a piece of silver. What they would do is they'll cut it. They'll cut it by well, however much amount so that they could have more to sell. The scriptures tell you, um, as a nail staking between the joints. That's how sense is between buying and selling. Because when money's involved, people get greedy and all types of shit happen. You see a lot of people dying every day from just money issues, man. Jake killing, you know, niggas over money. You know, that's why the scriptures say the love of money is the root of all evil. But it says making the ephah small and the shekel great, and that represents the money as well. Because what they're doing is they devaluating the money. It's losing its value because they printing too much of it. They said over 80% of the money circulating today was printed, since the pandemic, man. It's unheard of in history, and you know the money's losing its value. As the days go by, it gets less and less value, and they did that back in what was it, in Rome. That's what brought down the downfall of Rome. They had the denaries, which was their currency, and what they would do is they would shave it. They would shave it and they would mix it with other alloys to make it seem like that's what it is, but it was tainted. It lost its value, and they're actually doing that now. A lot of those gold sellers and silver sellers, people are reporting that they're not getting the pure silver. They're getting it mixed with other stuff. Because now we're in a time of money shortage. We're talking about the fake money, and also the real money, which is gold and silver, because that's what money is, according to the scriptures. It tells you Abraham was rich in gold and silver and cattle, So real wealth comes from real substance. This paper, is nothing but monopoly money, man, fake money, you know. So they was making the ephah small and the shekel great and falsifying the balance by deceit. Yeah, so it's all by deceit, man. You know, it's a enchantment they have over the minds of these people to make them think that this thing has actual value, when it's really nothing but the faith of the people that holds up this actual so-called value. The scriptures tell you that unjust weight is an abomination unto the Lord. So this whole system, this whole banking system is, wickedness, man, in the eyes of the Yahweh Shemel Shah, you know? So they make the ephah small and the shekel great. They devaluing this money. And eventually it's going to be worthless. And that's when they're going to bring in this digital currency. You see the Fed now, it's now being established, and they're talking about July to be fully operational, you know? So we could see where this is leading, man. This is what our apostles have been telling us for all these decades, man. You know, and the day is here, man. We're in the midst of it, and all the guys that have been denying it, the Heavenly Father is going to require, that of them, man, because they have a lot of blood in their hands. Because Jake, Jake is sheep. Jake is simple. You know, once that rolls out, a lot of Jake gonna think, well, this is the way of the world. This is the new currency. We got to feed our families, you know, and do what we got to do. And they're going to justify themselves and taking it because you haven't warned them to not do it. And that's what's going to bring about your judgments. I'm talking about all you other camps, you IUICs, you ISUPKs, you, what's the other dude? Adam Abbott's, the Wi-Fi's, You go out, the Lord is going to come collect, man, you know? All right. So that's it on that. And I'm going to get this last scripture in the Apocrypha. This is, what is it? Sirach. Chapter, what is it, 10? Uh, okay, this is Sirach chapter 10, verse 7. Arrogance and injustice are hated by both the Lord and people. Injustice, arrogance, and wealth cause nations to fall from power. And that's what Esau has done, man. He's guilty of arrogance, pride. The scriptures say the pride of his heart deceived them. And wealth caused nations to fall from power. And others then rise to take their place. you know. So the ones that's gonna rise up to take their place is the Israelites, man, the so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know, which will be the elect amongst them, because majority of our people is gonna get decimated in this up and coming, you know, nuclear destruction, you know, because they're gonna go ahead and fall for the agenda of this beast, man. You know, but let me get in the regular version, because you know, certain times, you know, you like it, and you like reading the scripture in certain versions better than other versions, you know. So this is where is it? Sirach. Oh, this is not the right one. Oh, Slack, yeah, it's this one. So this is Ecclesiastic is chapter 10, verse 8. It says, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit. That's what they have done. You know, they slaughtered billions of people to get the amount of wealth and power that they have now. You know, that's why the scriptures say he is as deaf and is as hell, because death and hell are never satisfied. And he is actually as deaf, man. He killed billions of people, man. And he's planning on wiping out billions more. You know, he done already did all this damage over the centuries to Jake, you know, and to all these other heathen nations. But now he planning on wiping out 7.5 billion people, man. You know? So the Lord said, because of that, because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, and that's what they did. They got their riches by deceit. Interest rates is off, man. You know, the scriptures tell you you should not use usury, man. Israel ain't supposed to be under usury, man. You know, so it says the kingdom is translated from one people to another. So the Lord is going to give us the power seat. You know, that's why they're rushing with this newer older agenda, because they see that we're up next. You know, and that's why they're rushing. You know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You know, with that, I'm gonna give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bashim, Yashah, Bashim, Hakodash. Peace and double honor to the elders and apostles of great most known to give us his truth and all the spirituality. And salutations to all y'all can preach this word throughout the four corners of the earth in sincerity and the truth. Shalom, Abba, Bo. Shalom.